Heading towards the finish line of this quest, I am now closing in on Bridgewater Bay. For this video, I managed to get 2 days completely different from each other. Saturday 1st of March, I witnessed one of the highest tides I've seen so far this year, which was at a new spot I intended on going previously, and that was on the February 22nd.
I've made some investments, so hopefully the shots will be a bit more smoother, more stable this next one. So I've gotten the waterproof bag, I've gotten this tripod that I'm filming off right now, and I've also got some new batteries too, so hopefully I'll get a little bit more in. But that today won't really matter anyway, because I don't think I'll be doing much filming today.
But for now, making my way there, I first continue off from the cove I explored on February the 6th. I did end up progressing through here, I just had to do it with the correct timing.
But we have made it back in one piece, so that's good.
And here are my new gadgets. That waterproof bag especially has been so handy and very easy to carry. Little to no consistent sandy shores along Fowler's Beach. There's always a rock or two to stub your toes on.
So this is the Fowler's Beach area, and we'll go on that cliff over there.
As I progressively approached further out, the whitewash becomes stronger and stronger. Then at front row, you behold the rocks taking a beating. And in the distance is the main wave line.
The little area that sticks out, I actually don't know the name for it. And then here is Bridgewater Bay. You can see people in the distance.
As you saw, I had to time it right to cross here, mainly because of the waves again. And from the top, as the water clears, you can see areas of the flat rock poking out. And mark my words, I stood here 3 days later.
it got me from sitting up here. Be careful about walking around these edges here.
This part towards the edge had a high rock straight into the deep water, or so I thought. By looking at this, I wasn't expecting it all to go through here on a low tide, but turns out you really can. However, when the tides are up, it makes a good fishing spot. I'm certain the locals agree due to the amount of lures I nearly stepped on.
The way the current of the water flows off the rock is very, very powerful, because obviously when the water comes in, it has to go somewhere. And if this has to go back out, then it has to go back out. It has to go out one way or another. And this is one of those areas that really does. The way it falls off the rock is so mesmerizing.
Still for the life of me trying to figure out why some of these rocks have red tinges on it.
So I've just come down here. It's all pretty wet here, so maybe not the best area to be, so I won't be here for very long. This is the furthest you can get, so through all here is Bridgewater Bay. This is all Bridgewater Bay. Bridgewater Bay. Definitely get taken out by one of these currents. See, it's very different. This is the main area where everyone gets down, or people walk around the hill so they can get on top of that rock easier and then jump off. Oh, muscles. Good morning. So we are at this rock again for the third time. But this time, tide's out, and the waves say it's 1 meter, but that's definitely not 1 meter. Oh, it's 1 meter, yes, but I think the app that I use is probably not the most, like the forecast isn't very accurate, because sometimes it says 1.1, 1.2 meters, and the waves are much bigger than this. So it's always different, but I did plan for the worst today. So if it was bigger waves, then I'm gonna go as close to the edge and I'll do other filming. Today it's too sunny way too sunny. You can see the bloody glare, but that's the rock I went in. I'll go closer. I just want to check this parts out first.
March 5th on a Wednesday, a working day, so I had to go home early. However, I knew there was going to be low tides during this week, so I was bound to make an early morning trip. We started off from Montfort's beach back to Bridgewater Bay for one last time. I think this has to be the lowest tide I've witnessed yet. You can see the whole sandbank drying out, and this is where the surfers navigate for an easier path to the waves.
Wow, big one. Another one. This is all completely dried, man. Like, they're dry. Holy shit. Oh, wow.
And the GoPro falls. I never realised how lucky I was that there was no rocks submerged.
Lucky it isn't deep, I would have lost that.
I have noticed this everywhere, even on pier legs, but once again I can't figure it out. Most of this day does speak for itself, exploring everywhere I can possibly go. Therefore I won't be voice noting too much, only if there is something necessary to say.
So in here, you can barely see it. All sediment from up the beach must get washed in here. Definitely. Oh, here we go. Now that's a big boy. I'll get down there, hang on. Wow, look at that. That's massive. That's a fat holdfast. So you can see how it's all been dragged all along this way. It's all been dragged into here. Wow, this seaweed's gonna get a nice cook today, man. It's gonna get cooked. Mate, the water is really giving way today, man. This is gonna be one of the lowest. Wow. Wow. So as much as you're able to see the seaweed all over the rock, there are parts that just don't have any. Why that is, I'm not sure. I am trying to figure out like the placements of it and stuff, but you can see that this is basically all the rock is. Very similar to over there, but it has a slight more of a light greyish colour. So when the waves come in, it'll sucks out like a rip current. And then you can see there's another sandbank. What is that? You see that? So this whole thing here, you can swim right under it. You can swim right under this thing. So a lot of this seaweed here is still pretty wet, so it's still happy. See how the top here's got the parts with no seaweed, and then it starts to get pink, and then it gets more red down below. Wow, man, this is a massive one. It's a massive rock wall. Wow.
I'm certain that entire rock is floating on top of that little bit.
Fowler's Beach. That water has really drained out, man. And the seaweed loves the water bursting out.
I was gradually making my way along and further out towards the deep water. The rocks get higher and more hollow as I progress. Before I showed you the waves in action with a taste of how strong the water can get. And now here's a comparison of me near the rocks.
terrible to stand on barefoot. Got water shoes, so it's alright. Just all rugged, man. White water was about the height of this rock. And then this rock here, I'll show you. And possibly even higher. And it all sucks down from the rock pool over there. Starts to get even deeper out here. You can't see the bottom anymore. Even when it's a nice clear day like this, you still can't really see the bottom. Check that out, it's floating. Completely floating.
If that tripod was to fall in the water like before, you can agree with me it wouldn't be a very happy ending this time.
If we go here, this wave should be alright. I don't think this wave will get us. See how it rises up, and then as it gets closer, it gets smaller. I could walk there.
I really could have gone there, but it was just a lot of mucking around, getting the goggles, getting my towel ready, bringing the tripod, swimming there, standing there, getting the shot ready, and I had to go home a bit early, so I just wanted to film all the other areas first.
It's okay, we'll save it for another time, don't worry.
From the distance, this is what was catching my eye.
Has given way, and instead of falling off into the water, what happens is it cracks up and it stays up. Therefore, you're able to see it stick up. It's only a little bit, and it definitely gets covered by the waves. And you can also see how there's no seaweed on it because it's not the right level. More sun gets to it, who knows what the case is. These have split off. This is probably split off as well.
In other words, the platform was completely floating like usual, but instead of little fragments wearing away, a giant crack would have been formed and years later split right off. Depending on how deep the water is or possible submerged shallow rocks, the broken bit perched up, therefore poking out the water. Please note everything I say is just hypothetical example that's easiest to explain. Doesn't mean that's exactly what's happened.
You can just see parts of the edge of it there. When the waves die down, the water, it becomes clear and there's no white water. See just in there the edge of it. Wow, look at that. Goes in, and sucks out.
I was feeling the whole rock vibrate underneath. I'm sure you know by now what that means.
I want to show you where the water goes when it goes in here. It goes through here. See that? Similar to Spray Point, you can see in the water there is another rock that's been broken off, but it's much deeper. And so if this water was to be even lower and then you get a nice big set of waves, it would completely smash this wall and you'd see some really good hydraulic action, but that doesn't occur because it's just not enough power. And the water's just too deep, just way too deep.
Throughout here, as I look towards the sand, you can get an idea of how far out I am, which explains why the water is very deep.
Oh shit, just got splashed. Where'd that come from?
As I approached the second area I intended on going, I came to the realization I've run out of time. So I was planning to go through here March 5th, so it's all in one day. But like mentioned, I wasn't entirely free the whole day.
So this is the area that I was filming the waves. Oh, don't fall. But it just shows how different it is. And up here too. It's going right up here. Massive white water. It was combining here. And then it was also sucking out here too. It really sucked out. Because it goes on an angle. It goes on an angle here. So what we should have done is we should have started from that side first. But unfortunately we're going to have to do that for another day. So the rock's higher than me. And the white water was about the height of this rock. Be here next time. Oh, and we're back. Fast forward to Saturday. I hope this is in the right spot.
No!
So I'm here again for a third time. Yep, like I said, so there's a lot more people out today because it's Saturday, long weekend, it's got the Grand Prix going on, so I guess people just using that long weekend. So I'm confident I can get up in this area because that's where I came down from, and then there was where I was last time. So through here is where I recorded the water really splashing through. See, all these rocks look very loose. It's all loose. Woo! Don't wet my tripod already, please. I reckon I can get up here pretty easily. Yeah. Cracking off. See the real pink in there. Pink.
As I progress, you can distinguish how the rocks are all scattered. This is from falling off the top of the cliff gradually over the years.
Stones from up the top there's been falling down. See, there's ones here falling down, and then this one here too. So over the years, the broken segments, you can see them all. They're all broken. It's all broken. So we're pretty close to the main beach, so you can actually get there on low tide. I thought maybe there was some area I have to swim across, but nah, it's actually pretty good. So it gets all the way up here, and then that's fallen obviously. So that stick, it's fallen. It's all fallen from up there.
And here is the sandy cove of Bridgewater Bay.
So that's the other side, just all little bits broken off, jagged. You can see the seaweed poking out of the water, so the tide's still low. But where I am here, it's pretty dry still, and it will be. It's normally whenever you see this kind of seaweed, it's always this circlish seaweed. That's when it's normally safest and stays the most dry, because it can handle the sun more. Just because there's not as many waves here, it still is very jagged, but it's just a different kind of jagged. It's more smoother circles, as you can see, but it's still breaking off.
The rest of these rocks were perfectly dry and comfortable to sunbake close to the water. And as I wrapped up the final stretch, I realised it wasn't as busy around the rocks as I thought, and everyone just wanted to be near the jumping rock. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me. Hopefully I can photograph more of this smooth water phenomena in the future.
So in terms of the cliff, not much of this cliff is really touched because it's more of a bay, so the waves aren't as strong here. Where all these people are, so the wave comes strong and goes on this. seaweed's trying to snatch me. See that? Look at that. Ah!
Reminds me of the Tangled Cup from Plants vs Zombies.
Alright, so this is where I was talking about the equipment, the investments that I was going to make, and it's now connected dots pretty much from Pierce's Beach to Bridgewater Bay. So we've pretty much done all along. It's pretty crazy to think I've walked all along the flat rock specifically.
I finally earned my swim as the tide was on its way in.
So when I was here on, I think it was the 1st of March, I keep forgetting the date, I was on the top of the hill there and I could see it all crashing against here. And now that I look, you can see the rock has lots of erosion on the bottom of it, and obviously you can see the top as well. Jesus Christ. And then all through here as well, you can see it all has a similar pattern. Underneath, it's cut underneath.
I suppose I'm gonna go hang out with the rest of the mob now. No, I'm just kidding. I was just chilling there for a bit watching the tide come in. If you get the right angle, you can see how the sun shines on the top of the water, revealing all the yucky sunscreen. That's why I prefer it when the water's trickling in, keeping it fresh, because it cleans it out. There's only one more video I need to make before winter hits, and that's exploring these final rocks. But until then, that is all folks. Thanks for watching.